Well, welcome again, another day. So today's topic under the main topic of Facebook for beginners is Facebook Live. So I thought today this would be a good one because Facebook Live tends to be something that people shy away from a little bit because they're not too sure either how to start it or what it's all about, or just don't have that confidence in front of a video. So it's something to definitely try. And let's just go through a couple of things first, and then I'll go and show you some information about just the general setup, and I'll show you what the page looks like and so forth when you head out there. All right, so why do we need to go live? So some very good points today in this respect. So your audience, this is a really good way of them to get to know you better. So they can see you because you are the person behind your business. You are the passion. You are the one that will pick up the phone and have a chat to them. So it gives them a chance to get to know you a little bit better, either before making a purchase or during the purchase or even after the purchase for that matter. So really good way of getting that transparency and that authenticity across to your audience. It can potentially lead to higher engagement because once people know that you're doing these live sessions, they'll want to engage with you. So your first couple might not go as planned, as in getting the number of people watching and so forth. But as people realize what's going on, that will drive higher engagement for you. So as long as you obviously do them regularly. Can lead to sales and obviously further leads to your business. So depending upon what you're talking about, but it doesn't really, you don't even have to be doing a sales pitch on these, which I wouldn't recommend, obviously. But you don't have to, but because you're talking about something to do with your business or something interesting or whatever the case may be, it potentially is putting you there in their mind about your product. So it's higher the potential for them to actually come back and utilize your business or whatever it is, your product service that you've actually got. It can potentially also give you ideas for future content. So here, I mean, you could be in the middle of your live, for instance, and telling them about something, and someone asks a question, but then that develops into something else that you could potentially go live with. So much like these sessions that we're doing, and along the way, with these questions that you are pre-registering with, or even the ones that you ask us on the Zoom floor, that these are giving us our ideas for their next sessions. So they're great in that respect. So going live is a really good way of getting that interaction going with your audience. Then, of course, you can repurpose the content. So once your live has finished, you can then use it as a post. And you could cut it down, you can take snippets out of it, you can make a shorter video, whatever the case may be, but you've got the ability to repurpose that content. So it's a great avenue for that. Then we've got, with Facebook in particular, they are prioritizing and promoting live video as we speak. So ever since they created live video, it obviously anything new takes a little bit of time to get traction and so forth with users. But now there's quite a large audience quite a large number of users who are using live video. So they are putting that strong prioritization on these. So if you are doing live, just know that this is potentially pushing your post, your live post, up into people's news feeds a lot higher than what they would be before. So a great way to get noticed and to get out there is with live. And then, of course, during your live session, you're going to get some immediate feedback. So if you've got a new idea or a new product, new service, whatever it is that you're putting out there live, people are going to give you instant feedback, and that's exactly what we need. So they're going to say, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea, I'd do that, or no, I wouldn't do that, or have you thought of doing it this way, or whatever the case may be. So you're going to get instant feedback that you could potentially use to help you develop that product or service that you're putting out there, or the idea or promotion, whatever the case may be. So it's really good for that. And then, of course, another one that you can do live in is with your groups. So you can go private live. So we were talking about having groups on your pages now. I think it was yesterday or last week, not too sure when, but one of those. And what you can do as part of the benefit of them being in that private group, you can say that once a week we're going to do a live Facebook feed or something like that to update them on something new, or to give them a new hint or a tip, or to provide them with something that's a value or a bonus or something that they wouldn't get anywhere else. So it's really good for that as well. So there's just a few ideas of why going live on Facebook is a good idea. So some tips to get you started. So first of all, and I think I say this every time, have a plan. Why are you going live? What it's about? What's potentially you're going to talk about? Have a bit of a, almost like a screen, like a write-up of what you're going to actually say and talk about, so that you don't get lost and that you don't go off track and start talking about something that you really didn't want to start talking about. So having a plan is always a good start for everything, but in particular for a live video, without a doubt. Then the big one is you need to have a strong connection. So if you are in an area that even the Wi-Fi or even your normal data is not really that strong, then Facebook Live may not be for you. The last thing that you need is that halfway through it you freeze or you drop out, or something goes wrong with it. So you need to make sure that you've got a really good, strong connection. And Wi-Fi is better if you can be in a good Wi-Fi area rather than using your data, because Wi-Fi will just give you a little bit better stability with the actual connection. And then, of course, you've got the other things that you could potentially use is you've got third-party streaming software that is out there for you to use. Some of them have paid options. There are some with free trials. I use one called eCam, and it works really well. I've used StreamYard, which is another one. There's heaps out there, and they all work really well. They all have pros and cons, obviously, and some of them have pricing platforms as well. So just consider that if you wanted to do a streaming platform. And you can also stream, you can also, as I said, you can live feed into your groups, but you can also live feed into your Messenger as well. So there's lots of different avenues that you can do a live feed into and use to get this going. The next one is use a tripod or a steadicam. Really important that you use something like that, because there's nothing worse, especially if you're outside and you're taking them through a walk, or you're taking them through, maybe you've got a new cottage that if you're an accommodation provider and you want to show people the inside. Use a gimbal or a tripod or something, or a Steadicam, so that you've got a nice steady picture. There's nothing worse than watching a video that's going like this. And you probably all agree with me on that one. So make sure it's nice and steady, really easy. And you can get tripods that are quite cheap. You can also get gimbals now that are quite cheap as well. So just to have a look at that before you're doing anything like that. Obviously, if you're streaming from your laptop, then that's not so much of an issue, because you're going to be most likely on a desk or something like that. So that's not so much of an issue. And then, of course, once you go live, and start engaging with your audience. Now, they're going to be asking questions potentially as you're going live, or they might be putting just random comments up or liking it, or they might say hello. Make sure you engage with your audience throughout the whole thing. So it's really important to make sure, so for instance, if somebody pops up and says, and hi Susan, then I'm going to say, hi Anita, back, or whatever the case may be. So that engagement is really important during live, and totally recommend the more you do in that space, the better. Now, this is one area where videos are suggested to go longer. So everybody's been probably telling you that when you're posting a video on Facebook or Instagram for that matter, that the shorter the better. So 10 seconds, 30 seconds, really no longer than a minute, because it's got to keep people engaged. When you go live, it's a bit different. And Facebook has even said that 3 minutes plus is good for a Facebook live stream. So they have suggested that the longer that you do it, the better it is, due to the fact that people can come in and out of your Facebook Live. They can interact with you. They can engage at certain times, or whatever the case may be. Plus, they've even said, now I'm going to read you something that they've actually said here. Facebook prioritizes longer videos, 3 minutes plus, that inspire people to continue watching. For live broadcasts, the longer you are live, the more likely people are to discover and invite their friends on Facebook to watch the video. You can stay live for up to 8 hours when broadcasting over a live encoder or a streaming platform. So 8 hours, that's a long time. And that's probably if you're an event, for instance, you could do that. But so they're even saying it themselves, 3 minutes plus. So don't hop on live and then go, hi, bye, I'm off again, because it's not going to do you any favors. So do it for at least a good, I would even start at a good 10 minutes as a first lead-in duration. So really important to know that. Now, the other thing is, especially if you've never done this before in the live space, advance notice. There's no point doing a live Facebook without giving people or your audience the idea that you're actually doing it in the first place. So you might go on a post, say today, saying, catch up with us live on Friday at this time. We're going to go live from here and tell you something special or whatever the case may be. So you need to do that, especially as I said in that first instance, so that people know that it's coming, so they can get ready for it. Just like these daily sessions, you all know that they're an hour every day at either 11 or 1 o'clock in the day. So you all know that that's exactly when it's happening. Even though it's Zoom, it's slightly different, but it's the same with the Facebook Go Live. So same thing. So you need to tell people what's going on. And then, of course, the last one is just be creative with it and have fun with it and go live as often as you possibly can. I'm not saying every day. I'm saying maybe once every couple of weeks, or if you can do it a bit more than that, maybe it's once a week. But the more you do it, the more confident you'll get with it, and the more the algorithms will pick up on it that you are doing them more often as well. So Facebook will start then prioritizing your content above anyone else who's not doing a live video. So really good idea to try and mix this into your plan that you're doing, as in your digital strategy plan or your online marketing plan, social media plan, whatever it is that you've got, put in there that you're going to do live video on a regular basis. Okay, so what are some ideas to actually start going live with? Just a few. You could host an interview. So you might have a client or a guest or a passenger, whatever it is that you have as part of your business. You might have the ability to host an interview with them. So maybe they've got a great story to tell, or maybe, you just want to sit there and ask them about their experience with you as a business, or whatever the case may be. So you could host an interview. You can show education. So, everybody loves to learn. Everybody wants to learn something new that they haven't done before, or something that they've, always wanted to learn, but then never really had the time. So this is your time to be able to do that. It could be a good news story. It could be maybe a new staff member. It could be a new product or service that you're putting out there. It could be a new development, anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It's new. It's whatever it is. It's news. Okay. I like the idea of hosting a competition. Now, this could be in 2 parts, for instance. So, excuse me. So the first part could be that you're announcing the competition and, telling them what they could potentially win, how they enter, what it is, whatever it is that they have to do. And then the second part could be the announcement of the winner, for instance. So people will know. So they'll know that at this time, on this day, we're going to announce the winner of this particular competition. So really good way to get that engagement flowing, like we were talking about before. Another good one is that lift the curtain. So I'm not saying, not being rude. I'm talking about lift the curtain behind the scenes. Okay. So talking about things that are happening behind your business. I read a stat the other day that 87% of people, when they're going to see something that's behind the scenes, will watch it. When they're going to find out something about your business, they will watch it. So it's a pretty high stat, to tell you the truth. So I'm really quite interested in that section. So give them some behind the scenes. So if you're a restaurant, take them into the kitchen. If you're an event, if you're an event coming up, you could schedule some live videos with announcements and so things, but you could also put behind the scenes of the setup of the event or something like that. So lots of good things that you could do with that behind the scenes aspect. And then, of course, have fun with it. You know, it's not rocket science. It's not meant to be rocket science, but it's just something that people are having fun with and they're actually interacting with on the live. You've just got to make sure that you set the scene for them, let them know what's going on, and make sure that people are aware of it. That's it. So that's basically it for the ideas. Now, what I'd like to do is just quickly show you the actual screen, or the way it looks when you're in here. So when you've got to do it from Creator Studio, or if you do it from your phone, that's fine as well. So when you're in Creator Studio and you go create post, you can see here it says go live. So when you click go live, it'll bring up this next tab for you in your browser. Sorry. So I obviously would not host a live from here because it's not very fast. So very quickly, I just want to show you, I'm not going to show you the stream key one today. I want to show you using your own camera. So as a lead-in side. So these two other ones are a little bit more advanced and using a streaming platform. So when you're using your own camera, you can see down on this side, this is setting it up for you down here. So first of all, it says what post do you want to put it to, and is it to your timeline, so your personal timeline, to your page that you manage, or to a group. So you can do it in any of those three areas. So if it's a page, you just choose the page, and you should already be in it anyway because that's where you've come through on Creator Studio. A title, so what's it all about? So let's just do, I'll just do competition announcement, for instance. And then, you know, join us live to find out how, oops, sorry, how you can win a holiday, yeehaw, worth, I'll just say not 50,000. Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? $5,000, for instance. And then obviously you can put in more detail about the competition and so forth. Now, you've also got the ability to cross-post to more pages. So if you do manage more than one page and this information needs to go across multiple, you can do it from here. You can also choose your audience settings from here as well. So in here, you can say, yep, public, but this particular competition, maybe you're dealing in something that has to be 18 plus. So it's only going to go to people who have got 18 plus on their accounts. You can also select the locations. So let's say, for instance, you only want it to go to Brisbane for whatever reason, you can do that. And then you can also restrict the location. So let's say, for instance, you don't want it going to Sydney, for instance. Then you can do that as well. Whether or not you want it to do, that's up to you. But these could be some of the things that you can add into your audience settings. And then you just hit save. And then that will now be inside and locked in. So when this goes live, it will only go to those people that you've specified in that, okay? I won't go into gaming because that's not what we're talking about today. And then this is your main dashboard here. So over here, you can see at the top, you can see me already talking because my video is obviously already live. That's a bit of a weird thing, isn't it? And then down here is your stream, your actual setup. So here it's telling us what cameras do we want to use and so forth. So in this case, it's just going to be my laptop camera. And then down here, you've got the settings for your stream. So you can tell it to do things. So end live video if it stops. So if something happens, it'll stop the video altogether. If you'd like to, you can broadcast this in 360 or 180. You can also unpublish after live video ends. So in other words, it won't go to the public on your post. So generally you don't want that to happen. So you would leave that unchecked. Viewing, allow viewers to rewind. They can message you if you like them to message you. You can turn on auto-generated captions. So as you're talking, it'll caption it for you. And then comments, you can turn these off and on. So only your followers will be able to leave comments. Commenters will only be able to comment every 10 seconds. So that just gives you a chance to actually keep up to it if you're getting a lot of people coming in. Only comments over 100 characters will be shown. So if somebody's writing a comment and it just says great work, then it won't actually show on the video. or you can turn that off. You can restrict. Commenters must have accounts that are at least 2 weeks old. So I don't think that makes much difference, to tell you the truth. And you've also got a protected here, which is commenters must have followed you for at least 15 minutes, which not a big deal either. So you've got all those different settings that you can do. And then you've got quick access to your live videos. So you can show live tab on your page. So when people see it, they'll see that it says live and that you're currently live. So you can turn that on. And then you've got, this is the URL of your video once it goes live as well. So you can, this is a link to your live video, so that when people you might send it in an email, for instance, and put that in an email and say we're going live as well. So that's a very basic setup for your live. You can see here, we can go live straight away. You can also do a publish a test. So if you haven't done this before, you can do a test, and you can also do it as an event. So you can create an event for it as well, that when you're actually going to go live. So lots of different things that you can do. And up the top here, you can also see, you can go live with others. You can schedule a live video event, and you can also look at upcoming live videos and events that are coming. So lots of different options here for live video. And this is doing it through your desktop. So this is a very full suite of information that you can see in front of us. And you can also see along the top here, all the additional things that you can do. So you can add in polls, you can add questions and so forth. I won't go into that today. I just wanted to show you the basics. Okay, so that's pretty much a very quick overview of how to go live. So I just wanted to show you that very quickly. And now let's go back to the presentation. And this is what I want you to do. So I'd like you to actually start your own live video. So decide a day and a time that you're going to go live. Let your audience know in advance. So put a post out there to say on Friday or Monday, I'm going to go live and tell you about this, or I'm going to give you a big announcement, or I'm going to showcase something. Go live, obviously, and then assess it and refine it for next time. So what could you have done better? Was it long? Was it too short? Was it too long? Was it good enough? Was the connection good? Was your audience interaction with you, and so forth? So have a look at it, and then when you do it next time, you'll know what's going on next time. So that's today's session. I know I went a little bit longer than what I normally do for this bit, but I wanted to give you a really good overview of going live on Facebook. So, okay, all right. So, all right, thank you everybody for joining us, and hope you have a lovely rest of the day. We'll see you next time. And don't forget to go and have a look at all the forums and the groups and all the extra learning and all that sort of stuff. Lots of great information there for you. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.